Hey guys, this is Brian Burns offering a quick solution for you to provide 5 new listing contacts for you in the next 5 minutes. So before I jump straight into the tutorial, I want to address a couple different things. Item number one is that this program that I'm going to be showing you is a direct subscription from me in my own personal MLS. So we use Flex MLS and we also use Remine. These are both incorporated into my MLS login. So as I go through this tutorial, understand yours may look slightly different. And if that is the case, please reach out to us in the contact information below, and we will address how we can find all this data in your own personal MLS. Because even though it might not be labeled the same thing, more than likely it still has some of the same resources. So once again, we're going to be using Flex MLS and Remine to go through and identify 5 new listing contacts in the next 5 minutes. Now, before we also jump into the tutorial, I want to identify 2 things. First off, as always, to continue to receive content from us, please subscribe to this channel. And if it is at all beneficial to you, please make sure you punch that like button because that also assists in you receiving more content and us having more relevancy in the market. So as we jump into this tutorial, a couple top line items. Item number one is going to be the identifying of the neighborhood that you want to get. You want to make sure that this neighborhood has good turnover, that it has good sales prices, and that it turns over regularly. That way we have good interaction when we actually draw that listing content and information. The second thing is you want to make sure that you designate time aside each day, week, or month that you're going to be doing this so you can make sure that you have some set time to identify new listing opportunities. And last but certainly not least, this is just the scraping of the top. Remember, this is not a listing appointment. This is simply a contact that you can reach out for listing information. But once again, tune in for the detail on the tutorial on how we can get really robust into this. All right, guys, so here I have my dashboard for Flex MLS. As you can tell, it's just a basic dashboard, but up here at the top right is what I'm paying attention to, and that is my hot sheet. I'm going to select all my closed listings because this is a great conversational starter that this property just closed, and that's why I'm giving you a call about possibly listing your home. So I'm going to scroll down to the bottom, and I'm going to say that any of these properties would work, but I'm going to use this one on Reef Sands. I would select and open up this property on Reef Sands. The one thing I'm looking for, I obviously want to know bed, bath, square footage. I also want to know my list price per square foot, and I want to know my sold price per square foot because those are going to be really key when I'm having conversations with the actual potential sellers of the properties that I'm going to be reaching out to. But remember, right now, all I need is this information right here. I would keep your MLS sheet up if you start to make some phone calls. I'm going to scroll over to Remine here, and I'm going to go down to my main dashboard and select search. And I'm going to type in Pleasant Sands. Pleasant Hills, I'm sorry. Pleasant Hills. Scroll down. The one that I'm looking for is Pleasant Hills East. I open that up and I have this little dashboard. It's put a little polygon around my subdivision. Now, once I have that, there's three things that I'm going to look for here. Now, I'm going to remove these just so you can kind of see it. And taking those all off, I'm going to go ahead and apply them. So now I have a total of 490 houses in this subdivision. Now I have contact information for a lot of these. I also have detailed information of when they sold, how they sold, and what they sold for at that time. I also can see estimated equity balances. So that's huge in the grand scheme. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to narrow this down to about 5 to 10. So I'm going to take my ownership time and I want my 5 to 10 years. Because this is the time frame that most people sell. I'm going to select my sell score. Now, this is a really cool tool. They use 27 data variables that identify if this client owns this home may be willing to sell. So I'm going to select high and apply that. That's narrowed my results down to 10, but I don't want to be talking to people that are out of state yet. Now, that might be a whole other conversation, but right now I'm looking for people that own the home and that may have seen this house right here sell previously. Okay, so I'm going to select this absentee tab and I'm going to select owner occupant and I'm going to press apply. and I have 7 results. So I'm not down to 5 yet. I want to pull some information. So let's just pull this one here on coral sands. Okay. So I select it, it opens up a dashboard, and I want to pull some information. So I have some public records, some tax and assessment stuff. I want to look at my property history and kind of see what they bought it for, right? So they bought this property February 2015 at an estimated sold price of 151. Tells me who the ownership is. And then if I scroll down to the bottom where it says owner and associated people, right here, you'll notice that there's some contact information behind a blind door. I'm not going to open that because I don't want to be exposing people's public information. But at the end of the day, I have possible emails and phone numbers for these people. Now, some of this information is under do not call lists, and you need to be cautious with that. But if they are available, give them all a phone call. You never know what a number might dial to. And then you also have some associated people. These could be tenants, um, significant others, they can be children. There's a lot of other variables that could also find people through the associated people. Now, once you get them on the line, what you're going to do is have a conversation about this property. You're going to talk to them about this property just sold. It sold for a record premium rate, and that's why you are reaching out to them. Or change your dialogue in your script that's going to fit best for you. Guys, I hope that's powerful. And as we go through, this is the stuff that will change your game. Remember, these are not listing appointments. All these are is contact people that you can now reach out to create listing appointments. So that's 5 listing leads in 5 minutes. Might have taken us about 5. Thank you. All right, guys. All right, so hopefully that was extremely useful and allowed you to find as much information as you possibly could in understanding where contacts are going to be relevant for you. Now, remember, you can expound upon this. You can look deeper, you can look wider. You can also create mailing labels if you want to go after more people in a direct mail campaign. So those are things that we have addressed in a full Remine tutorial that's right down here. So click that if you are interested in joining that. And if you have any questions or concerns going forward, please make sure that you fill in the link below that allows us to connect and have a conversation on how we can help scale your business. Thank you for tuning in today. And remember, like and subscribe so you get all this content going forward.